It is a simple movement, but it could say a lot about your long-term health. A new study finds your ability to sit down and stand back up without using your hands may help predict how long you're actually going to live.
Really?
I know,
okay.
I kind of want to try.
I know. Our 9 News health expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, is here this morning to break down what this test measures and how you can improve your score. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good morning. So fascinating to learn about aging.
It is. All right, so what do we know about the science around how we age right now?
Yeah, we're learning a lot more. There's still a lot we don't know, but what we have learned is that aging is not linear. In other words, you're not older today than you were yesterday based on your organs and your cell health. You actually age in bursts, and those two bursts tend to happen around age 44 and age 60, and different types of organs age differently. So your brain may age at a different rate than your heart, than your kidneys, what have you. Two 60-year-old people exposed to the exact same things will age at very different rates as well. And aging is measurable, so we can figure out how we're aging, and it's modifiable. So we can actually do interventions to change how we're aging. So all of this put together makes it really fascinating because aging doesn't need to be passive anymore. It can actually be an active process.
So how do scientists in this study define aging then?
So they defined it based on a score called intrinsic capacity. So think about what starts to happen when we age. What tends to go? How we walk, how we see, how we hear, how we think, and our overall sort of vitality. So they put together all these components into a score and calculated what's called your intrinsic capacity score. And they looked at that and compared it to how your cells are aging to sort of see how you're supposed to age versus how you're actually aging.
So once they defined the aging score, then how do they decide, how someone is aging from there?
Okay, so this is cool. This is almost sci-fi movie, right? We take a drop of your blood or a drop of your saliva. We look at your genes and we look at something called DNA methylation, which is how the genes are altered by your body. And that tells us your body's clock, how your genes have aged. So it tells us kind of what rate you're aging at. Compare that to your chronological age. So if you're 40 years old, are your genes aging faster than a 40-year-old should or shouldn't? Because aging is actually programmed. It's not just wear and tear. Our body's supposed to age at a certain rate. And so you compare the two and say, are you aging faster than what you're supposed to or actually aging slower?
Well, let me ask the question now that all of us are thinking. Is there a way to improve your aging score?
Very much so. And that's what's so empowering about this research. If we started in our annual physicals, not just to check our cholesterol, but to check our aging scores and then modify them, how cool would that be? So essentially you can modify it obviously through your diet. So the Mediterranean diet and a diet called the MIND diet changes how your body ages. These are diets sort of rich in, omega-3s and less processed food and what have you. How you interact with other people. So whether or not you're socially isolated, that can impact your aging score. For you guys, how much sleep you get can definitely
So
impact.
we're at least like 85.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, we joke
beyond our
about
years.
it, but certainly not getting enough sleep can cause accelerated or premature aging as well. How much we exercise.
You go talk to our bosses about this. You tell them
I'm
to
headed
push
right
the show
upstairs.
back. Yeah, thank you.
But we do other things to balance that out. So
right.
the people that did this blood test, does it seem like more people are aging faster than their chronological age or slower?
That's what we're finding out is that for some reason our bodies are aging in an accelerated fashion,
Yikes.
including risk for cancers, as we've talked about, which is why it's so important to do this type of research so we can actually start to raise awareness of these scores. Now, they're not quite ready to hit prime time yet, but if you think about the factors that go into how you age, how we see, how we walk, how we move, doing all these lifestyle interventions can actually change that. So
Yeah.
I want every single one of us to think about on those 5 metrics, what we're not hitting and what we can do to sort of counteract.
Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting. I mean, we're a society obsessed with slowing our aging.
How did people in the Bible live to like 400? We need to go back to that. They didn't eat Cheez-Its.
They had God. They had some supernatural stuff going on.
But here's the thing, guys. Jordan and I have talked about this before. You don't just want to live longer. You want to live better.
Healthier.
Right?
Like, you don't focus on lifespan, focus on health span.
span.
Yes, which is not only how long are you living, but how long are you actually healthy while you're alive.
Right. So how can you keep your body functioning optimally and living longer? And
Yes.
that's really what this kind of intrinsic capacity score helps us to determine. Imagine a blood test or a saliva test that could tell us that.
Oh, it's so
To
fascinating.
be fair, in the Bible, there was also a woman having a baby in her 90s. So
Okay.
we're not talking the same wavelength
So we're
right
not going to
here.
be able to do
Yeah,
that. Science
exactly.
is not there yet.
Unfortunately, no. All right, Dr. Kohli, thank you so much. You can find all of Dr. Kohli's appearances and mine and Corey's sermons on 9news.com/Dr. Kohli.